Okay, so this video was not planned at all. The other night, I was going through a bunch of old camera footage, trying to figure out what stays and what gets deleted. And while I was digging through everything, I came across a bunch of B-roll footage that I swore I had already used in a video. Like, in my head, that video was finished, uploaded, the whole thing. But then I kept looking through the files and I realized something. I never actually finished the video. Apparently, I filmed a ton of footage for it, including all of the B-roll that you're about to see, and then somehow just never came back to it. So yeah, turns out I accidentally created a lost episode that's just been sitting on my camera this whole time. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So for the entire month of March, we're doing something a little different. We're finally checking things off the list. By the list, I mean all the videos I started filming, got some B-roll for, and then somehow never finished. You know how it goes. You get motivated, you start filming, and then life happens, and the project just sits there. So March is officially no footage left behind month. If I filmed it, we're finishing it. And today's recovery project is the DC McFarlane's Super Friends Wave 3. Here's how I actually found these. I was on a random Target run, and like always, I had to swing by the toy section. It's basically a rule at this point. Now, I wasn't expecting to find anything. The Targets around me are usually a total toy desert. Most of the time, it's the same stuff that's been sitting there for weeks. But somehow, the timing worked out. Sitting there on the shelf were 3 of the 6 figures from this wave. I just kind of stood there for a second, like, wait, are these new? Completely unexpected find, but definitely a good day for a Target run. I should say this up front. I'm not planning on picking up Bizarro Batman from this wave. It's a cool figure, just not one I really feel like needs to be in the collection. Oh, and then there's the Wonder Twins. Yeah, trying to track down those figures without taking out a second mortgage is a challenge all by itself. If you've looked them up, you already know what I'm talking about. The aftermarket prices on these are wild. So for now, we're focusing on the ones I was actually able to find in the wild, which honestly was already a pretty good score. Today, we're checking out Brainiac, Bizarro, and my personal favorite, Aquaman. This line is doing exactly what I hoped it would do. It really captures the classic Super Friends vibe. Bright colors, clean sculpts, and that old school Saturday morning cartoon feel. Now at the most recent Toy Fair, they did announce more figures coming to the line. But after seeing the reveals, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it, because I only need a couple of them. The figures that they showed off at Toy Fair were Robin, Black Manta, and Evil Aquaman, another Batman, because of course, there's another Batman, and a Lex Luthor variant. The line is definitely expanding, but I'm trying to stay disciplined and keep the collection focused. We all know how it goes. You tell yourself just one more figure and suddenly you've got the entire wave. All right, let's get started. And the first figure we're going to look at, Bizarro. Right away, you'll notice that this is basically a reuse of the Superman body. Same base figure, but with new paint and a brand new head sculpt. He's supposed to be an imperfect copy of Superman, so using the same body actually makes a lot of sense. The new head sculpt is really what sells it. He's got that classic, confused, backwards Bizarro expression that fits the character perfectly. And the paint helps separate him enough so he doesn't just look like Superman in weird lighting. Articulation-wise, it's pretty standard for the line. There's nothing crazy, but you can get some good flying poses and solid display options, which is really all this line needs to do. For his accessories, he comes with the Bizarro Ray, which is a fun little inclusion. If you remember, that's the device he used to turn people into Bizarro versions of themselves. It's simple, but it adds some personality to the figure. And I'll take a character-specific accessory over random extra hands any day. Overall, Bizarro is exactly what you'd want here. A slightly twisted version of Superman that fits perfectly with the Super Friends lineup. Next up, we've got Brainiac. And this right here is the version of Brainiac I always picture. The classic Super Friends look. You've got the pink top, the short shorts, the boots, the full Saturday morning super villain fashion statement. It's bold, it's ridiculous, and it absolutely works. The colors really pop. That bright pink shouldn't work as well as it does, but somehow it just makes the figure stand out on a shelf. They did a great job. The boots have that exaggerated style, and the head sculpt gives him that smug, calculating expression. Like he's about to shrink a city and judge you while he's doing it. Articulation, same as before. Nothing crazy, but enough to get some solid villain poses. This guy just grabs your attention. In a lineup full of blues and reds, that pink is impossible to miss. This is a really fun classic take on Brainiac, and it fits the Super Friends vibe perfectly. Last up, we have got my guy, Aquaman. Now, I don't have some deep researched explanation for why he's my favorite Super Friend. I can't point to a specific episode or storyline. There's just something about him. That classic look, the blonde hair, the orange shirt, the green gloves and boots. Every time I see it, my brain immediately goes, yep, that's the one. And this figure really captures that look perfectly. It feels like the animated version just jumped straight off the screen. Articulation. Yep, rinse and repeat. There's nothing crazy, but more than enough. I'll say it again. That's all that these figures really need. This is kind of what the whole wave delivers. Bizarro gives us that fun Superman remix. Brainiac brings the bold villain style, and Aquaman. He brings the main team energy. There you have it, guys. To wrap things up, what started as me digging through old footage turned into a full Lost episode. We revisited Wave 3, talked about finding these in the wild, and the ongoing challenge of tracking down the rest of the wave without destroying your wallet. And since Aquaman is my favorite of the bunch, I figured he deserved a little extra spotlight. So I shot some additional B-roll just for him. So sit back and enjoy that Aquaman showcase. If you guys have made it this far, let me know down in the comments. Are you collecting the Super Friends line? Have you managed to find the Wonder Twins yet? Are you going all in on the whole wave? If you enjoyed this Lost episode revival, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and stick around. I've got more unfinished footage to bring back to life. Until next time, guys, stay minty, stay fresh, and happy hunting. Bye.